Welcome to the Election University podcast, a weekly show where we hear from industry experts who share tips and tricks for winning campaigns. Whether you're running for office now, thinking about it for the future, or just want to know more about campaigns and elections, Election University is for you. With Election University, click, learn, win. And now your host, Jason Bennett and Reiny Cohen.
Hey, everybody.
Hey!
Welcome to our inaugural episode 0.
It's the Election University podcast.
This is your host, Jason Bennett.
Hi, I'm Reiny Cohen.
And we are very excited to be launching our podcast today and helping bring some tools to folks out there who are trying to win their campaigns.
Woo!
We wanted to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about who we are and what Election University is. My name is Jason Bennett. I'm a political consultant here based in Seattle, Washington. I've worked on more than 300 campaigns, from statewide campaigns down to local city council races. I'm really excited to bring the tools and knowledge that I've learned over the years and provide them to you first-time candidates.
And I'm Reiny Cohen. I have worked on campaigns. I've advised on campaigns. I work at a nonprofit where we have a C4 organization where we help elect people who we consider to be housing champions. We have housing and homelessness is our major issue. And I also work on a program called Institute for a Democratic Future, where we groom the future leaders here in Washington state and teach people how to run for office.
Let's talk a little bit about what Election University is and what we're trying to accomplish here with the podcast. I've been best describing this as an online personal trainer for first-time candidates and staff. It's a complete online classroom school for first-time candidates, do-it-yourself software package with tools and features to help you, candidates and staff, win your races. So I'm really excited that we're launching that, and this podcast is going to be a supplemental tool for folks, free to use. Anybody can listen to it at any time.
Well, and what I think is really interesting about Election University, Jason, is the reason why you are providing this kind of a resource and why you created this. So can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, after the 2016 election, I think a lot of folks were looking to get involved. There's been a huge surge of interest in running for office, and lots of different varieties of people are interested in running for office. One of the things that I have found frustrating as a political consultant is that there aren't a lot of free tools and resources available for folks. That's changing. It's a really exciting time to watch that process change. And I find that consultants tend to hoard information and make that doled out, on a per dollar basis, right?
It's a pay to play kind of model.
Right. Yeah. And that if I hoard the information, therefore it makes it more valuable, and therefore I can sell it for more information. And I don't know necessarily that that's producing the best results. So I wanted to provide a low cost, very low barrier entry, service to first-time candidates. There just aren't many resources for municipal and down ballot races. There tends to be a lot of resource and focus on campaigns that are statewide, congressional, presidential, but then the resource availability drops precipitously as you move down the ballot. So this is an opportunity for folks who are interested in running for their hospital commissioner race or county sheriff all over the country. We're providing a one-stop shop tool for campaigns to do it themselves.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to be a part of it. As someone who is spending a lot of my volunteer time grooming the folks who would start their careers running for those lower level offices, it's really exciting to be part of a resource like this. And I'm really excited about the podcast because I don't know about you listening out there, but I have a learning style where I need exposure to different kinds of things in order to retain all of the information. And this podcast is meant to accompany the curriculum of Election University and expand on some of the topics that you might be most interested in and that we think would be helpful for you as you are running for office. So we are intending to talk to professionals in the field in different subject matters and have them share their expertise with you in hopefully a way that is consumable and enjoyable and hopefully like funny sometimes along the way.
I mean, we're pretty hilarious.
I mean,
so
So funny.
Let's get real if we can for a moment. We're gonna try to, make this fun for folks as well, because I do think there are a number of ways that we can approach campaigns, but I think the more that we share resource and get things out, the better quality of our representation is going to be. And I think the less daunting it's going to feel for people who want to do this but don't know where to start and spend hours stumbling, trying to figure out what vendors they should use and how to build a contacts list, and very simple tools and tricks that consume hours if you don't really know where to start. So we're going to try to, erase some of that trial and error for you, and we're going to help provide you the tools as best we can, and hopefully create a supportive, I keep calling it a online personal trainer, but somebody that's going to guide you along the way so that you don't feel like you've, sacrificed this huge amount of time and energy to run for office and put yourself out there and expose yourself to criticism and critiques from the media and your opposition without the accompanying support behind it.
And I think it's important to mention that these tools are available in a nonpartisan way. I think Jason and I are going to be honest about being Democrats and leaning more on the left end of the spectrum. But we want anyone who wants to run for office to have access to these tools. And we want to make sure that when we are having guests on this podcast, that we have a representative sample of all kinds of thoughts around the country. So I don't know if you have more you want to say about that.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I do think part of talking about what we are is also what we aren't. And this is not going to be a place to complain about the current administration or, bash the other side. That's not interesting. And there are plenty of other podcasts and resources out there that would do a much better job, I think, than you and I would, much smarter than we are on these topics, that will break down, their viewpoints on the administration. We will talk about how certain decisions by the administration might impact down ballot races and how national climate may impact your particular race, but we're not going to weigh in with our thoughts and opinions on any particular policy issue or administration decision. That's not really our shtick.
Yeah, it's not the point.
It's not the point. And I also think, we're not really interested in only talking to people that we talk to all the time. I think good governance can be had on both sides of the aisle and in multi-party systems. Certainly, I think there's a lot of interest in we live here in Washington State, and there's a lot of interest in the People's Party or socialism, and they're welcome to listen and use our tools as well. I'm excited because we do have multi-partisan speakers coming on, or completely apolitical experts that follow and track this stuff, and they'll be speaking to us. So I'm excited to corral them. We are going to be very transparent and honest about the fact that we are left of center, and that our network and pools of resources tend to come from left of center, and our viewpoints tend to come from left of center.
But we are really committed to make sure that we're reaching outside of the people that we already know, to make sure that we're offering the most well-rounded experience that we can.
Precisely. Yeah, I think that's great. We've got a couple of exciting podcast episodes coming up pretty soon. You want to tell them which one's going to be your favorite? The one that's coming up next.
I am excited to hear from Chelsea and Rory about how to get a job in politics. Again, as someone who is working in grooming the future leaders here in Washington State, how to get a job in politics is a topic that we talk about a lot. I'm also really interested in the political spouses episode. I'm very excited for those interviews. As someone who is often the campaign widow, I have a partner who works campaigns on a yearly basis. And so from September to November, if not longer, I lose her to the campaign life. And so talking to spouses and hearing about their experiences and how they handle that, I think would be really helpful for me.
Yes.
And so also helpful for people who are wanting to run for office, or is a episode that you'd be able to share with your own spouses on how to get some guidance around that.
Yeah, I'm also very excited about that. And the podcast with Rory and Chelsea, these two Obama administration or two Obama campaign, 2008 campaign staffers who are just brilliant and give really practical, great hands-on advice for any of those folks out there that are interested in getting a job in politics or in government. Some really practical tips and advice from some top people who've hired and, trained thousands of people probably over the years. So
hired and not hired.
And not hired. Right. Exactly.
So
yeah.
Find out about that.
And on the political spouses, for me, there's absolutely no resource that I can find online for political spouses. And obviously when you decide that you're going to run for office, it has a huge impact on the family and on the spouses and the loved ones, and creates, a change in everyone's lifestyle. So we're, going to approach this. We've got a husband and a wife that are going to come on and talk to us about their experiences.
Not married to each other.
Not married to each other. Yeah, let's be clear about that. That would be
weird.
Yeah, it'd be counterproductive, I guess, right? Because one has to be the spouse and one has to be the candidate. But so we spent some time talking to them about their unique experience and advice and tips that they have for other spouses and family members that might be going through this. So I'm very excited for it.
And then we also have coming up how to protect your data.
Yes, this is a particular interest of mine. We talked to Benjamin Caudill, who is an expert at Rhino Security Labs, most famously known for hacking into an app in Silicon Valley called Secret. That
sounds right.
I think that's right. I'm going to have to double check that now because I can't remember it. And anyway, he basically figured out some brilliant way to fish out people's personal information and tie this app, which allowed Silicon Valley members to post their deepest, darkest secrets anonymously. And it was very popular for a while until Benjamin kind of upended a major security hole in it. And that's what his company does, is it exploits and helps companies figure out where their holes and vulnerabilities are.
Do we call that ethical hacking?
Right? That's the term. White hat or ethical hacking. And he talks to us about some of the concerns and things that he sees in election integrity, specifically in ways that you can protect your own data from hacking, from Russia, from North Korea, from some 14-year-old kid on their couch one day, whomever you need to lock out of your campaign, your opponent, particularly Russia, whatever. So he gives some really practical advice. And then we couple that with a free ebook that people can download. Very simple tips and tricks to increase your security and lock out hackers.
Love it.
It's great. So we're really excited. We hope you enjoy it. We're going to launch with 5 episodes right off the bat, and then we're going to be a weekly podcast thereafter. And if you have ideas or speakers or you want to come on the show, let us know. You can email us directly at podcast@electionu.com. Reiny and I are always available at any time. We'd love it if you could subscribe to your podcast so that you'll get notifications and downloads automatically sent to you. And please leave a review. We love reviews and we want to hear your feedback on what you think, what we should be doing, what we should not be doing, what we should be talking about. Leave us comments and thoughts. And we will interact with you. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, perfect. Thanks everyone for listening. We will see you next week. Thank you for listening. This week's episode has ended, but the campaign fund doesn't have to. Head on over to www.electionu.com, where you can access all of the links mentioned in today's episode, as well as the show notes. There you can also sign up for regular announcements or register for our campaign school. It's your very own online personal trainer for winning campaigns. www.electionu.com. Click, learn, win.